So, welcome everyone to our Soul Power session. These are monthly free sessions to support you to really express your own soul's light and clear anything that's in the way of that. So, we're going to be tuning into that today with our theme of Source Supports Me. I think most of you know me already. If not, I'm Louise from Soul Signature. That is my passion, to help you, support you to really activate and share who you are, share your light with the world so everyone can enjoy your unique frequency. So let's just take a moment to drop in, just to let go of whatever's been going on in your day so far, and just to come into our beautiful group energy, our circle today for the next hour or so. So just inviting you to just turn off any distractions, close your eyes if it's safe to do so, and just drop into your heart. We're going to be talking about the heart a little bit today as this center of source light, source energy, and really exploring the ways in which we disconnect from our heart. So let's take a moment to really breathe into that incredible stargate, that field of source energy that your heart is, that your heart gives you access to. And just see if you can have a sense of dropping in and perhaps noticing with curiosity and compassion if your heart is feeling a little burdened or a little closed off today, and just allowing your breath to soften any resistance, and using the breath and the intention to exhale any tension, cares, or worries. And as you bring your attention to the heart, just to allow the mind to drop into the heart, to let your thoughts relax, and just to come into more of that somatic awareness of your heart energy. And as you breathe, have that sense of expanding your heart out to the front and to the back, to the sides, upwards, connecting with the heart of the universe, down to connect with the heart of the earth, and just feeling yourself in that beautiful pillar of expanded light and love that is your heart, that is the powerful magnetic field of your heart. And just coming present for our call today, feeling into what might be in the way of you feeling that deep source connection through your own heart. And as we're connecting to that, let's really call in that source energy that is our higher selves to guide our call today to be in the highest for us, in the highest for all of creation. Knowing that as we do this work for ourselves, we're offering that up also to the collective and contributing to the consciousness raising and enlightenment on the planet at this time. And so just starting by feeling into just the word source, and you may have another word for that. It could be God, the divine, goddess, the universe, life force or creator energy, infinite intelligence, consciousness. Just getting a feel of that for you, what source means to you. And I've called this session Source Supports Me. I want to explore resistances to that today together. But in truth, you are source. You're a unique fractal of that infinite creative energy. Your unique light signature, your soul signature is fractal of that energy. It's a unique expression of that light, but it is that light. It is that pure source energy. And your unique light signature, that unique geometry of light that is you, resides in your heart. And your heart is that gateway, that access to that infinite source energy that you are a part of. And so when we can drop into our hearts, when we can live from our hearts, we can really tap into that magnetism and that creativity, that your heart can both receive and generate that source energy, that you have that same creative power that source has. And when you're in that state and you have that clear heart, when you're connected to your heart, then source energy can just flow in and out of your life. And because we live in this resonant vibrational universe, once you're in that frequency of unlimited source light, that's what you experience. You get that reflected back to you in your life experience. And you really become this sort of walking field of miracles. So the challenge, of course, is what's in the way of us staying in that connection and that constant stream of source energy. And that's where we get to explore what happens when we fall into that illusion of separation, which is really the core wound of humanity, where we no longer believe that we're divine. We no longer believe that we're source. We think that source or the divine is something outside of ourselves. We've been programmed to believe we have to earn that support, that it's out of reach, or that it's abandoned us, right? And this is part of the game and the journey of being human, right? That we incarnate into a realm of density and duality where there are veils which prevent us from seeing the truth of our own divinity, right? And so it can be a very convincing illusion. And we're raised by people who also believe in that illusion of separation. We're raised by religions that encourage us to see divinity and source light, and everything that we need is outside of ourselves. So, we have within our fields, within our DNA, these distortions, these energetic distortions and imprints and programming beliefs and unresolved traumas that are held in our DNA, held in our energy fields. And they then distort this source light. We then experience distorted versions of reality back to us. We will experience that we don't have support, that we're not loved, that we don't have enough resources, that we're separate, that we're excluded, that we're rejected, whatever it is, right? So these calls and the work that I do is, really around clearing these distortions and reactivating, remembering that connection to your own divine nature and to your own heart intelligence that will always provide you with the connections and resources and solutions that you need, because you have that access to that infinite field through your own heart. So that's the challenge, that's the work, right? And one of the other problems, I guess, is that we actually don't spend enough time in that connection with our hearts. We get so easily distracted by our egos, by our minds, by energies from other people, that we don't have that consistent awareness in our hearts. We don't anchor ourselves into that awareness in every moment of our day. And so we're often not long enough for us to actually see the reflection of that connection in our external lives. So that's a practice that we'll do later in the call, and I'll offer a light language activation to help us stay in that beautiful heart connection, that connection to our own source and our own incredible ability to create and to receive. All right. So I'm going to play today, before we go into clearing, and I've prepared some phrases based on everything that you've shared and everything that have come up as well. So hi, Natalie, just joining us. Just going to mute you. So we've just done our opening connection, and we're just good timing, Natalie. We're just about to work with the diagnostic phrase. So I'm going to share it in the chat. So as always, we're going to use the compassion key, our process of self-directed compassion, to do some clearing with the power of our own compassion. Gets to acknowledge and clear these beliefs and experiences held by really wounded aspects of ourselves, limited aspects of ourselves. And as we clear that with our own compassion, we get to then just naturally experience ourselves, our soul's light expressing into form. So the phrase that I want you to say out loud is, source supports me in all ways. I am source. Okay. And if you prefer to use another word from source, it could be the divine, it could be God, as long as you don't have any kind of distorted religious programming around that word. It could be, infinite intelligence, creator, whatever you want, but as long as that feels resonant for you. So source supports me in all ways. I am source. So when you say that phrase, close your eyes and really speak it aloud and allow your whole being to respond so that you can get a truth rating around this. What do you notice when you say that phrase? You might notice contraction in the heart. You might notice a voice that comes up and says kind of, yeah, right, or a voice that says, well, why don't I see that in my life, right? So feeling into that, feel free to share in the chat what's coming up for you in resistance. And you can also give that a rating where 10 out of 10 would be absolutely true, incontestable through my whole body, mind, and spirit. Or it might be less than that. 1 out of 10 might be like not true at all, just not feeling any resonance with that. So we use these phrases as a way to kind of check in. It's a little barometer. How is my body, heart, mind, spirit feeling about this? This is what we'd like to be feeling, and the mind might like to feel that, but in truth, there may be many parts of us that actually don't believe that. So feel free. Great, getting a 7. Okay, and if you notice what's coming up in resistance, you can share that as well. I know a lot of you have already shared some of those things when you registered, and we've got a lot of beautiful phrases that we can do together. But just getting a little bit of a benchmark, so we can do this phrase again after we've done the clearing, see if anything's shifted. Yeah, Doreen saying my energy contracts and I feel that it's not true. Maybe a 4. Yeah. So just noticing it's a really great way, we're such a vibrational being that, when we offer, and this is why it's so important to say this aloud, as your voice offers that vibration of that phrase up, right? You can feel whether you're in resonance with it or not. So, yeah, so share your numbers in the chat. Doesn't sit comfortably. Sarah also says a 4-ish. Okay, good. So we're just observing this with curiosity. Okay, all right, great. Okay, and there's Lee's saying, so interesting when you were opening about staying in the heart, there's something about a rejection of source, a shame of the light. Interesting. So, we may have been shamed for being in our connection to the light, right? Because we're often surrounded by people who don't trust that, or that's just not the way it is. Humanity's lived out of limitation for so long that, to be the one, I mean, I'm sorry, but look what happened to Jesus, like the light, the light is not always welcome, right? So there can be a lot of resistance to being that expression of source light. So Chantel feeling energy around the sacral and the root, right? It's probably around safety, around power. Yasmin feeling distracted by tech issues and feeling unsupported and fearful and left behind. Right. Okay, beautiful. So we can include some of these. All right. So we'll get going with some phrases, but just make a note of your number, just so that we can use that as a little bit of a benchmark later on. Okay, so we're going to do the phrases in batches and we'll do some little check-ins. Feel free to share as we go through anything in the chat that's also arising for you, and we can include those. So just a reminder how this works. I'm going to guide you in some phrases, which will begin with, I'm so sorry you feel, or I'm so sorry they didn't, that kind of thing. And we're talking from our whole higher self to the parts of ourselves that are holding limiting beliefs, experiences with unresolved emotions, traumas, right? Because those are the parts of ourselves that are getting in the way of us experiencing this connection to source and this effortless flow and ease in our lives. So those parts of us have just got fragmented and split off and stuck in time and space. And by offering them compassion and presencing them, we get to bring them back on board. And then that energy isn't lost in resistance. That energy is back in you, and you can feel more alignment and, fully in tune and in vibrational truth with source being support for you and you as source. Okay. All right. So deep breath into your heart and solar plexus. You should all be on mute, so no one can hear you. All right. I'm so sorry you're in survival mode. I'm so sorry you're suffering. I'm so sorry you don't feel supported. I'm so sorry you don't feel supported in all ways. I'm so sorry you're in doubt and fear rather than flow. and ease. I'm so sorry you feel tense in your body. I'm so sorry you feel tense in your mind. I'm so sorry you let fear and anxiety take over. I'm so sorry you force things instead of trusting in the flow. I'm so sorry you forgot that flow is a natural state. I'm so sorry humans have forgotten that flow is a natural state. I'm so sorry you got cut off from the infinite support of Source. I'm so sorry your ego cut you off from Source. I'm so sorry your mind cuts you off from Source. I'm so sorry your mind pulls you out of your heart. Okay, so just take a breath. We're going to do a few phrases around feeling that you have to do it all on your own. Right. So another breath. I'm so sorry you've never felt fully supported. I'm so sorry you don't know what that really feels like. I'm so sorry if you get support, it doesn't last. I'm so sorry you can't trust support to be consistent. I'm so sorry you have to rely on yourself. I'm so sorry you have to go it alone. I'm so sorry you feel abandoned. I'm so sorry you feel rejected. I'm so sorry it looks like Source supports some people, but not others. I'm so sorry it feels like Source supports others, but not you. I'm so sorry you don't know why you aren't supported by Source. I'm so sorry you're confused. I'm so sorry you're disappointed. I'm so sorry you're sad. Okay, so just taking a breath. All right, and just noticing anything that arose for you out of that. A few more. Now, a lot of you also mentioned money. So I'm just going to do a few phrases around material support, and then we'll do some around lack of faith and trust. Okay. So deep breath again into your heart and solar plexus. I'm so sorry you don't feel supported in the material world. I'm so sorry you don't feel supported financially. I'm so sorry divine support doesn't show up as material support. I'm so sorry you don't have financial security. I'm so sorry you have to work hard to survive. I'm so sorry you have to work hard to support yourself. I'm so sorry you have to work hard to support others. I'm so sorry they taught you you had to work hard to survive. I'm so sorry it's not okay to have an easy life. I'm so sorry you got trapped under a money ceiling. I'm so sorry you can only have enough, but not more. I'm so sorry you don't know how to break through that ceiling. I'm so sorry they said money doesn't grow on trees. I'm so sorry they taught you that money was evil. I'm so sorry if money is evil, then the divine can't give you money. I'm so sorry you feel powerless to change your circumstances. All right, so let's just take a breath there. So, of course, money isn't always support, but it is such a big part of our world. So, yeah, lack and limitation. I wasn't mentioning, yeah, I've got some phrases around that too. All right, taking a breath. We'll do a few more around trust and worry and lack of faith. Okay. So this is, again, because of when we're in the energy of stress and worry, we're not in that vibrational resonance with ease and flow. So it's such an important part of the work, I guess, is to notice when we've fallen into that state of stress and worry, right? And to have the practices to hand, which help us to get back into that, the state of ease, to come back into the heart. Like when we're in stress and worry, we've closed our heart. So let's do some phrases around that and about sending mixed signals. Okay. All right. Again, deep breath into your heart and solar plexus, saying the phrases out loud. I'm so sorry you want to trust it will all work out, but you're stressed and worried. I'm so sorry a part of you trusts and a part of you doesn't. I'm so sorry your expectations and attachments disrupt the flow. I'm so sorry. You're giving out mixed signals. I'm so sorry. The universe doesn't know what to give you. I'm so sorry you focus on the lack rather than the support. I'm so sorry you forget to be grateful for the support you have. I'm so sorry when you focus on lack, you attract more lack. I'm so sorry you can't help worrying. I'm so sorry your mind thinks that worrying will help. I'm so sorry you just end up creating more stress and worry. I'm so sorry you don't know how not to worry. I'm so sorry you don't know how to have complete faith that everything is for the best. I'm so sorry you've been let down before. I'm so sorry you expect to be let down. I'm so sorry faith wasn't enough. I'm so sorry you don't have unshakable faith. I'm so sorry you stopped believing in miracles. I'm so sorry you closed your heart to your soul and spirit. I'm so sorry you got stuck in struggle. Okay, so take a breath. All right, we've got some more phrases, but let's do a little check in. And maybe we'll try the phrase again. So, okay. All right, so but it's some interesting stuff coming up. I have nothing, I can't lose anything. Denying need. All right. If I'm source, so are all other humans. Not so pleased with the reflection definition of the divine. So is that perhaps that we're not seeing the divinity in others? Okay, the divine rejects. Yeah. Okay. And some of that can be, just we've inherited this belief around that there's this judgmental divinity that is judging us and rejecting us, and we've got to kind of somehow earn that love. That's what basically the church has been teaching us, that we're bad and wrong and sinners, and we've got to earn the good stuff. Okay. All right, just say a couple of phrases maybe around what people have said there. Okay, stab in the heart, says Natalie. Not sure if it's positive or negative saying the phrase. Yeah, right. Okay. And a rejection of source. Maybe let's just say a phrase around that. Yeah, a shame of the light. Okay. All right. So I'll just say a couple of phrases around these. Again, deep breath into your heart and solar plexus. I'm so sorry they rejected your light. I'm so sorry you're ashamed of your light. I'm so sorry you have to reject source light. I'm so sorry you're ashamed to be connected to source when so many aren't. I'm so sorry if they're suffering, you should suffer too. I'm so sorry you thought your suffering would ease their suffering. I'm so sorry people get left behind. I'm so sorry you got left behind. I'm so sorry you had to leave your loved ones behind. I'm so sorry not everyone could be in the light together. I'm so sorry that suffering and struggle is a way to connect to others. I'm so sorry if you disconnect from suffering and struggle, you'll disconnect from them. I'm so sorry you had to disconnect from source to belong. I'm so sorry they were disconnected from source. I'm so sorry you had to reject source to be accepted by them. I'm so sorry that humanity is not a perfect expression of source. I'm so sorry if you reconnect to source, you're afraid you'll lose that connection again. I'm so sorry you cut yourself off before they could cut you off. I'm so sorry it's safer to have nothing because then you can't lose anything. I'm so sorry if you're okay, then you have survivor's guilt. I'm so sorry you can't be happy until they're happy. I'm so sorry you couldn't save them. I'm so sorry they couldn't save themselves. Just taking a breath. Got some more phrases. We'll just do one more round of phrases and then we'll check in with the diagnostic phrase. Yep. Allison's saying having expectations is triggering. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so sorry your expectations interrupted the flow. Okay, all right, so we'll just do a batch around unworthiness and self-judgment, and then we'll try the phrase again. All right, deep breath again into your heart and solar plexus, saying the phrases aloud. I'm so sorry you believe you're not worthy of support. I'm so sorry you thought you didn't deserve to receive the support of Source. I'm so sorry you judge yourself as undeserving. I'm so sorry you feel you failed in your mission. I'm so sorry you punish yourself by denying yourself support. I'm so sorry you don't ask for support, therefore you can't receive it. I'm so sorry you don't trust in your own purity and innocence. I'm so sorry you see so much suffering in the world, it's hard to believe in divine support. I'm so sorry so many people don't have what they need. I'm so sorry that support is unevenly distributed. I'm so sorry you can't relax and just be. I'm so sorry you can't just be present and enjoy life. I'm so sorry you can't trust that Source is supporting you to live your purpose. I'm so sorry it doesn't seem possible to live in ease, grace, and synchronicity all the time. I'm so sorry you can't open to receive all of the gifts from Source. I'm so sorry it's not safe to receive. I'm so sorry you're not allowed to have what you want. I'm so sorry you can't allow yourself to be whole, healthy, and loved by God. I'm so sorry you can't believe in your own divinity. I'm so sorry you can't stay focused in your heart. I'm so sorry you're constantly distracted. I'm so sorry your mind is the biggest barrier. I'm so sorry staying centered in your heart is so hard. All right, so taking a breath, we're going to try the phrase again, see if anything's shifted. Oh, there's a nice one. Okay, I'll just say a couple of phrases. I'll put the phrase in, and I'll just say a couple for these that been shared in the chat. So yeah, thanks. I'm so sorry you chose separation instead of support. Lee, I'm not sure about how you might have to explain that one. I'm so sorry you choose eye for an eye to communicate. Maybe you can elaborate on that one. Okay, great, Freya. It was amazing. Hit the nail on the head. Yep. Those ones about trust. Okay, so trying the phrase again. Lee, maybe you can elaborate on that one. Source supports me in all ways. I am source. Or if you had divine, the divine or God, you can use that instead of source. And then just feeling into that again. How does that feel? Is it sitting a little more comfortably? And if you were to rate it out of 10, how true it is, would it be a little bit more than you had before? Sometimes the number goes down because sometimes we uncover new layers of resistance and we can do some clearing on them. Okay, yeah, thanks, Lee. So another religious punishment. If I hurt you, you've got to hurt me back. If you kill my people, I have to kill yours. Yeah, right. So that's how we connect through that kind of conflict. And again, that comes from that, that scarcity, that lack. We're in conflict when we're not in that trust that everything is provided. Yeah, phrasing, imposter syndrome, pride comes before a fall. Yeah. So, this is a real thing that we're calibrated to kind of just not go, don't fly too high, don't have too much, don't be too connected, don't shine your light, don't, right? Because everyone's gonna stampede you and bring you down and punish you, and you're gonna fall because it's just not okay to be in your source connection. So you can't trust anyone, says Chantel. Like Shini's saying, I need to add at all times to the affirmation. And actually, I did have originally, I deserve to be supported by source in all ways. So you could add in all ways and at all times. So that may then, what often we do then is we'll do more clearing around the consistency of support around, and again, what that's relating to is this consistency of our heart connection, right? We don't get that doesn't show up consistently because we're not consistently connected. Every time we fall out of that connection, life's going to show up that way too. So, for some of us, we may have support, but it doesn't last. We may have support, but it comes and goes. We may have support, but we have to give something back, right? So for you to unravel, so you might want to do a little bit more work after the call, looking at, Sarah saying, being told that not all possibilities were available, right? Yeah, I'm so sorry, you were told that not all possibilities were available, right? I'm so sorry you accidentally limited your expectations. I'm so sorry you couldn't have it all. So sorry you believed you couldn't have it all. Yeah, not trusting God, saying, Chantal, I had to do it on my own and go without. Yeah. Okay. Yep. And my physical body supports me. So that can be a whole nother topic, right? Around that showing up in your body, that feeling of being supported. Great. Alison saying shifted to an 8. I am source feels good and I am love feels good. And of course, source, we can also see that as that infinite field of love and light. Love, even the word love, like that's really what we're kind of feeling into, right? What is support? Support is love, right? Money is a form of love as well. And often our relationship with money and love can have the same kind of distortions there, because support and love, that's what it shows up for. You incarnate as a helpless baby. You need love and support from your parents. If you didn't get that in an unconditional way, that's, the beginning of that disconnection from feeling deeply supported. Great. Lakshmi's gone up to an 8. It's great. Sarah's, I feel higher now, 7. That's great. A 4. Actually journaled about this morning, getting stuck in expectations. Yeah. And other people's ceilings. Yeah. Limited by other people's ceilings. Yeah. So always this, we get programmed by other people, but there's so often a trade-off for belonging. And this, creates a sense of a lack of safety around actually being in that connection when others aren't, particularly if those are our caregivers and our tribe. Who am I? And that imposter syndrome that Freya was talking about, who am I to be connected to source and living in ease and grace and synchronicity when they're not? And how can I relate to them they're not. But of course, what we really want is to be modeling that and living in that empowerment. We can support them from that place, right? Ourselves. So, yeah, we're not, and that's, I love that phrase. I'm so sorry you thought your suffering would ease their suffering. We think that if we stay stuck in the misery with them, that somehow that's helping everybody, right? Lee going, wow, as always, great feeling. I can be a 10 in my own heart. No matter what I see in the world, I can meet it all as a 10 in my heart. Yeah, love that. Safe to stay and sustain source light. Woohoo. Yeah, absolutely, Lee. And of course, for so many of us, that's actually, kind of what we've come to do, right? But then we drop down here and we just end up getting pulled down by everything else around us. Freya still saying, still feels too dangerous to stick my head up. Tall poppy, they'll hate me, blame me, bring me back down to the status quo. Yeah. So more clearing on that, right? More clearing. And of course, also, this is really around, and we had a call on finding your soul tribe, I think a while back. The more that you surround yourself with people that are wanting to be in that connection, that are willing to be in that connection, you actually realize that, you can calibrate to that those are the people around you, that actually there aren't people out there that are wanting to bring you down. There are people who want to elevate you. This is why I have my Soul Thrive Mastery program, which is where we're always in that evolutionary group. We're always raising each other up. That becomes the culture, is that we're in our light, our full expression of our light. So really, tapping in and surrounding yourself with people who live that way, listening to things that, people who, podcasts and everything that's elevating, right? Because it's all about your frequency. Manage your frequency however best you can by, and we've got to override those fears by having this extra, kind of input that is much more positive and much more empowered. Doreen saying feels a bit better, maybe a 5 or 6, still stuff to clear from childhood. Yep. So lack of support from parents, inner child not supported, light couldn't shine. Big release in the first phrases around abandonment and rejection. Yeah. A choice to calibrate my perception, Lee. Thanks. And Yasmin's vibing with what you're saying. Yeah. And choosing that culture. Yeah. And to be forgiving of yourself when you blast out of it. Yeah, right. Because there's a lot that wants to pull you down, right? So we do have to do a little bit of, we have to put a little bit of the work to elevate ourselves. This is what we're doing here as well. So good insights, everyone. If there's a bit more, and of course, I'm, can always do a one-to-one session. It's great to dive a little deeper, particularly into those childhood parts or aspects from other lives that are just holding on to some of these limiting energies. So we can always work with those. Yeah. Choosing that culture here on this call. Yep, we absolutely are, Alison. As we are in our soul power. All right. Well, I think now is a good time to go into our light language activation. And I want to really invite this activation, this frequency to support us to stay anchored in that deep heart knowing and heart connection of the source light that we are. Because really, it is our natural state of being. What is unnatural is for us to see ourselves as separate, to live in lack and limitation and struggle, right? That is not natural. If you look at nature, animals, like they just expect that they are provided for, and they are, right? Nature, it just keeps ticking along, when we don't interrupt it, we don't disrupt it, there is a natural, just a natural flow, a natural provision there. And, we've just got very disconnected from that. So I want to really call for an activation to help us to stay in that energy always, to just have that deep knowing, even if it feels like in this lifetime you've never really felt that, right? Knowing that that is actually your true nature, right? That the belief that it's not is simply that, a belief, a distortion, an imprint that's just sitting in your field, and that you can clear that and reconnect with your natural source light, soul's light. And that's what you're here to do and be, right? Remembering that too, that you are a unique creation, a unique fractal of source light, so that source can have the experience of being you, right? So we're actually serving source when we open up to that connection and let that light just express through us. And how do we know how that wants to express? Because we feel it in our heart, right? Our heart pulls us, our heart magnetizes us to the things that are going to, create joy in us. And then source gets to experience that through us. So we're all, just beautiful fractals and geometries of source light playing in human form and having that experience. So just inviting you to, again, take a breath into your heart. We're feeling into the heart. We're calling for an activation to activate that source connection in our hearts, and we're receiving that in our hearts. So allowing yourself just to receive the frequencies, which are again just more source light, just coming in to help you to really feel that connection more deeply, to live in that more deeply, to be willing to embody that more deeply, so that others can benefit from that as well. And you can enjoy the reflection of your own soul's light, your own source light, just reflected back to you in this beautiful physical realm that we're playing in. So just giving thanks for all we receive and asking that that be received by all of creation and advice for all. Harun nakasapa ite voro shamare pekiti pura kauka iakane ere. Tatare ka smushkora bana kuke kia akona man il maratali ke arkotan sepeche ik aro ot ikene mera ato. Ikur e sab adana ka ak kichikor no super ap akipat or kinan ka te bresumana kat ialor na at iti kia iakom. Ka aikete mana se bur shabana ma atele ki arko sabashmana ka kuri it al amare sete. Ka kia maro samur shabarane in maro asoko kike ala katari me ke sharmo ot e. La at e ra sor ma shabat ikia mor kat itabo sor ich ala mor ap it ini. Kara sati titikon ma shakide mor at ili irni. Arasote meshimera kan mo at era asat ochire. Ta samaro kete ka marakata ich urkota ansande ikira akolakate imarakata. To ot adama sebri it atosima achere kon ma sebri ik enala at arukote. Ta at or ma sabri ik talkish ala at irmat ei akora at era at atonom shiro ot aye. Ki akak akoma ki ar ot aye. Ra as atoma shibri etemaro kesemara at ikemaro ei ako e eti. Ra'as at ar uneche irmakakok iti erun at ama asipik oraoriti. Just taking a deep breath, and as you breathe into your heart, really allowing again that expansion of the heart field in all directions from that center point, that spark of light within you, your unique light signature, and then allowing that light, that love just to expand all around you in all directions. And feeling yourself as this walking field of light. So what was being shown there was, this need for us to be more expansive. It's almost as like this light. It's just trying to come through, and we're just all holding ourselves open, just a crack. And so it's so hard for that light to flow through and to bring us what we need, but also to bring that light to the world. So really inviting you as a practice, a daily practice, to just sit and expand your heart out infinitely, to feel yourself as that divine field of miracles, that source light that is limitless. So really to connect to that limitlessness of yourself, and that this is all you need to do, right? So to practice that, and to see if you can practice that for a few minutes and notice the tendency of the mind. Like there was definitely a lot of clearing around the mind, that tendency of the mind to pull you out. Also, if you notice a lack of safety in being big, to do some more clearing around that, right? To remember that when you are in that expansion, right, that everyone and everything else is part of that field. Like that is the safest you can be, is to be everything, right? Because nothing then is outside of you. Nothing can affect you when you've already gone beyond it, right? And one of my teachers used to talk about this. Instead of seeing like the obstacle as the rock, right? The water has to flow around, the river expands, and then it just, the rock is just, it's not even visible. It's not even there. So inviting you all to have this as a daily practice. And it is as simple as coming into the heart, finding that point of light that is you, and then just expanding that out all directions. And then get used to walking around being this infinite field of miracles and see what happens. Yeah, see what happens. All right, so yes to expansion. Yay, Alison. Yeah, so if you know anything else coming up, yeah, the thought, great phrasing, the thought that my release, my breakthrough will help others feels like a safer way to begin a breakthrough. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, that we, our expansion is service, right? Our expansion is great. Yeah. Yes, I'm saying wonderful. Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, meeting, noticing. By doing this, not only will you get to meet what's still in resistance, you'll get to practice what it feels like to live from your heart, to be an expansion. And what will gradually happen too is that you will go out in the world and you will discover that nobody shoots you down. You don't get punished. Thunderbolt doesn't fall from the sky. You don't get crucified, right? All of this stuff doesn't happen. And then you're like, oh, wow, maybe. Then you get this embodied experience of maybe it is safe to be in my full source connection in my life, right? And then that shifts it for everyone. Yeah. Great. Okay. All right, love you. We're right on the hour now. Thank you, everybody. I'll send out the replay. If you want to have a one-to-one chat with me, feel free to just schedule that. I'll send the link in the replay email. Also, please let me know any other themes that are coming up for you. Alison had a suggestion about comparison and competition, so we might do our next call on that. But Leah, let me know if there's anything else that you would like clearing on. Thank you, everybody. Always great. Thanks so much for all of your input. And yeah, stay in that light. Beautiful. Thanks, Dorina. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, and look forward to seeing you next month and maybe having a chat to you before that. Here to support you. So lots of love. Go forth, shine bright, enjoy it. Beautiful. Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
Natalie. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.